He wore a gold ring on his finger, but he took it off for me. He looked into my eyes and said, "I don't love her anymore." He said, "We are just roommates." I believed him. I thought I was special. I thought we had a future. But lies are like shadows. They always disappear when the light comes. My name is Elena. I was 24 years old. I fell in love with a married man. He promised to leave his wife. He promised to build a life with me. But when I showed him the pregnancy test, everything changed. Now, I am alone in this empty apartment. I look at the baby clothes on my bed. I am terrified. But I want to tell you my story. Because maybe, just maybe, you are trusting the wrong person too. Let's go back to the beginning. Before the tears, before the pain. I was young. I was ambitious. I just moved to the city. It was a big city, with bright lights and busy streets. I felt small, but I was excited. I got a new job at a marketing company. It was my dream job. On my first day, I was nervous. My hands were shaking. I dropped my coffee in the hallway. Brown liquid spilled everywhere on the white floor. I felt so embarrassed. I wanted to cry. Then a man stopped. He did not get angry. He smiled. He handed me a napkin. "Don't worry," he said. "I spill my coffee every Monday." That was James. James was handsome. He was older than me, maybe 40 years old. He wore expensive suits. He smelled like expensive cologne and peppermint. He was a manager in the company. He was confident. Everyone respected him, and he noticed me. For the next few weeks, James helped me. He taught me about the work. He was kind. He was patient. We started to have lunch together. At first, we talked about work. Then, we talked about life. He asked me about my dreams. He listened to me. No one ever listened to me like that before. One rainy afternoon, we were sitting in a cafe. The rain hit the window. Tap, tap, tap. James looked sad. He looked at his ring finger. He twisted his gold wedding ring. "You look sad, James," I said. "Is everything okay?" He sighed, a deep, heavy sigh. "My life looks perfect from the outside, Elena," he said. "But inside, I am lonely." "Why?" I asked. "My marriage," he said. "It is over. My wife and I, we are different people now. We don't talk, we don't laugh. We sleep in separate rooms. We are just roommates for the children." I felt sorry for him. He looked so broken. I wanted to hug him. "I am staying for the kids," he whispered. "But I have no love in my life." I was naive. I was young. I did not know that many men say these words. "My wife doesn't understand me." It is the oldest lie in the book. But I believed him. I thought I was the only one who understood him. Our lunches turned into dinners. Our handshakes turned into hugs. I knew he was married. I saw the ring every day, but he told me the ring meant nothing. "It is just metal," he said. "My heart is with you." One night after working late, he drove me home. He parked the car in front of my building. It was dark. The streetlights were orange. He looked at me. His eyes were intense. "I think I am falling in love with you, Elena," he said. I knew it was wrong. My brain said stop. My brain said he is married. But my heart said go. I kissed him. And that was the beginning of my secret life. We were happy, but we were hidden. We could not hold hands in the street. We could not go to popular restaurants. We always went to places far away from the office, far from his home. We have to be careful, James said. Just for a little while. Until I talk to the lawyers. The lawyers? I asked. Yes, he promised. I am preparing the divorce papers. I will leave her, Elena. I promise. Just be patient. So, I was patient. We went on business trips. That is what he told his wife. But really, we went to hotels by the beach. Those weekends were magic. For 2 days, he was mine. We cooked breakfast. We walked on the sand. He told me he wanted a future with me. I want to wake up next to you every day, he said. I felt like a princess. I ignored the red flags. I ignored that he never answered his phone when he was with me. I ignored that he never stayed the whole night at my apartment. He always left at 2 a.m. I have to go back, he said, before the kids wake up. I hated watching him leave. I lay in my bed, smelling his cologne on my pillow, waiting for his text message. Sometimes I felt guilty. I thought about his wife. Did she know? Was she really just a roommate? But James reassured me. She doesn't care about me, Elena. She lives her life, I live mine. You are saving me. I felt like a hero. I was saving him from a loveless marriage. 3 months passed. It was autumn. The leaves were falling from the trees. I started to feel strange. I was always tired. I could sleep for 12 hours. My favorite coffee started to taste bitter. The smell of fried food made me sick. At work, I felt dizzy. The room spun around me. James noticed. Are you okay? He asked in the elevator. I think it is just the flu, I said. But deep down, I knew. I went to the pharmacy. I bought a test. A small pink box. I went home. My hands were shaking so much. I dropped the box. I waited in the bathroom. The minutes felt like hours. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I looked at the stick. 2 lines, positive. I sat on the cold floor tiles. Silence. Then, a smile. A huge smile. I touched my stomach. A baby. I whispered. James's baby. Suddenly, my fear disappeared. I thought, this was good news. I thought, this is the sign James needs. Now he has a real reason to leave his wife. Now we can finally be a real family. I was so foolish. I was living in a fantasy. That evening, I invited James over. I have a surprise, I texted him. I cooked his favorite meal, steak with rosemary potatoes. I bought candles. I put on soft music. The apartment looked beautiful. James arrived at 7 p.m. He looked stressed. He was checking his watch. I can't stay long, Elena, he said. My wife is hosting a dinner party tonight. I have to be there. His words hurt me, his wife. But I pushed the pain away. Sit down, James, I said. I took his hands. His hands were warm. Mine were cold. What is the surprise? He asked. He checked his phone again. I took a deep breath. I looked into his eyes. James, we are going to have a baby. I waited. I waited for the smile. I waited for the hug. I waited for him to say, I love you. But the room went silent. Dead silent. James dropped his fork. The metal hit the plate. Clang. His face turned pale. All the color left his face. He looked like he saw a ghost. He pulled his hands away from me. What did you say? He whispered. His voice was not happy. It was cold. I am pregnant, I said again. My smile started to fade. We are having a baby. James stood up. He walked to the window. He ran his hand through his hair. He looked angry. No, he said. No, no, no. This cannot happen. James, I stood up too. Why are you not happy? You said you wanted a future with me. He turned around. His eyes were dark. A future, Elena, not a baby. Not now, he shouted. I flinched. He never shouted at me before. I am in the middle of a big promotion. My divorce is not ready. This ruins everything. My heart broke into a million pieces. Ruins everything? I asked. It is a baby. It is part of you. He walked towards me. He held my shoulders, but his touch was not gentle anymore. Elena, listen to me, he said. You cannot keep it. I froze. What? You have to get rid of it, he said. I will pay for it. I will pay for everything. But we cannot have a baby right now. It will destroy my life. It will destroy his life. He didn't care about me. He didn't care about our baby. He only cared about his reputation. I looked at the man I loved. Suddenly, he looked like a stranger. Get out, I whispered. Elena, be reasonable. Get out, I screamed. Get out of my house. James looked at me one last time. He didn't look sad. He looked annoyed. He grabbed his jacket and left. He went back to his wife, to his dinner party, to his fake life. And I was left alone with the candles burning down and the tiny life growing inside me. After that night, silence took over my life. I waited for his call. I waited for a text message. I looked at my phone every 5 minutes, but the screen remained black. James was gone. He ghosted me. I was hurt, but mostly I was desperate for answers. I needed to understand, how could a man say, I love you, one day, and then disappear the next day? Was he scared? Was he in trouble? Or was I just a game to him? I decided I could not wait anymore. I needed to see the truth with my own eyes. I knew where he lived. He showed me a picture of his house once. He said, "It is a big house, but it is cold and empty." On a Saturday morning, I drove to his neighborhood. It was a rich neighborhood. The lawns were green and perfect. The houses were big and white. I felt out of place in my small old car. I parked down the street, under a large oak tree. I waited. I was waiting for 2 hours. My legs were cramping. I wanted to leave. I told myself, Elena, you are crazy. Go home. But then the garage door opened. A silver SUV drove out. It was James's car. My heart stopped. James was driving, but he was not alone. In the passenger seat, there was a woman. She was beautiful. She had long, shiny hair. She was laughing. She did not look like a roommate. She did not look like a woman who slept in a separate room. She looked like a wife who was loved. In the back seat, there were 2 children, a boy and a girl. They were holding ice cream cones. They stopped at the park, at the end of the street. I watched them. I felt like a spy. I felt sick. James got out of the car. He opened the door for his wife. He kissed her cheek. It was not a quick kiss. It was a sweet, gentle kiss. She smiled at him and fixed his collar. Then he chased his children on the grass. He was laughing. He looked happy. He looked like the perfect father. He looked like the perfect husband. There was no misery. There was no loneliness. He told me he was miserable. He told me he was staying only for the kids. He lied. He lied about everything. He lied about his life. And worst of all, he lied about loving me. I was not saving him. I was just his entertainment. I was just a toy he played with when he was bored. I sat in my car, and I screamed. I hit the steering wheel. Tears streamed down my face. I realized I was the other woman. I was the villain in this story. That beautiful woman in the park did nothing wrong. She trusted him, just like I trusted him. I started the engine and drove away. I drove fast. I wanted to escape the pain, but you cannot drive away from a broken heart. 2 days later, James finally came to my apartment. It was late at night. I heard a knock on the door. I knew it was him. I opened the door. He stood there in his expensive suit. He looked tired, but he did not look sorry. "Can I come in?" he asked. "Why?" I asked. My voice was strong. I was surprised by my own strength. "We need to talk about the situation," he said. He looked at my stomach. I let him in. I stood in the middle of the living room. I did not offer him coffee. I did not offer him a seat. "I saw you," I said. James looked confused. "What?" "I saw you at the park. With your wife. With your family. You looked very happy for two people who are just roommates." James's face turned red. He looked down at his shiny shoes. He knew he was caught. "Elena, it is complicated," he started to say. "Stop," I said. "Do not lie anymore. No more lies." He sighed. He reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out a white envelope. It looked thick. He placed it on the table. "What is this?" I asked. "It is $10,000, James said. His voice was businesslike. "Take it. Use it for the procedure. Go to a clinic. Fix this problem. And have some extra money for yourself. Go on a vacation. Start a new life." I looked at the envelope. Then I looked at him. He was trying to buy me. He was trying to buy my silence. He was trying to buy the life of his child. "You think money fixes everything?" I whispered. "I am trying to help you, Elena," he said. "You are young. You don't want a baby alone. You cannot handle it." "I am not alone," I said. "And I am not for sale." I picked up the envelope. I walked to the door and threw it into the hallway. "Get out," I said. "Elena, be smart." "I am being smart," I said. "For the first time in months, I am being smart. I don't want your money. I don't want you. I never want to see you again." James looked at me with cold eyes. "Fine," he said. "If you keep this baby, you are on your own. Do not call me. Do not come to my office. You do not exist to me." He walked out. He stepped over the envelope on the floor and walked away. I slammed the door. I locked it. And then I slid down to the floor and cried until I could not breathe. The next few months were the darkest time of my life. I fell into a deep depression. I felt stupid. I felt dirty. How could I be so naive? How could I believe a married man? I quit my job because I could not see him every day. I did not have much money. I moved to a smaller apartment. It was a tiny studio with one window. I spent my days sitting by that window, watching the rain fall. The city looked grey. The people looked sad. I felt guilty. I thought about his wife. I wondered if I should tell her, but I decided no. Why ruin her happiness? Why break her heart too? He was her problem, not mine. I was scared. I was terrified of being a single mother. "I can't do this," I told myself every night. "I am too weak." But then something happened. It was the 5th month. I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Suddenly, I felt a flutter in my stomach, like a butterfly. Then, a small thump. The baby kicked. I put my hand on my belly. Thump. "Hello," I whispered. It was a response. It was a sign. "I am here, Mommy," the baby seemed to say. "We are in this together." In that moment, the fog lifted. I realized I was not alone. I had a little partner. I started to eat better. I started to walk in the park. I called my mother. I was afraid to tell her. I thought she would be angry. "Mom, I am pregnant," I said on the phone, "and the father is gone." There was silence. I prepared for her yelling, but she said, "Come home, Elena. We will figure it out." I cried happy tears. Family is not about who leaves you. It is about who stays. My belly grew big. My back hurt. My feet were swollen. But I felt strong. I bought second-hand baby clothes. I painted the corner of my room yellow. Yellow is a happy color. I stopped thinking about James. He was just a ghost from the past. He was the biological father, but he was not a dad. A dad is someone who loves you. Finally, the day came. It was a stormy night. Thunder was shaking the windows. The pain started. It was sharp and fast. I called a taxi. "Take me to the hospital," I groaned. The pain was unbearable. I thought I was going to die. At the hospital, the nurses were kind. They held my hand. "Push, Elena, push," they cheered. I was sweating. I was screaming. I was fighting. "I can't," I cried. "Yes, you can," the doctor said. "You are a warrior." And then the room was filled with a loud cry. "Wah, wah." The doctor placed a warm, wet bundle on my chest. I looked down. It was a girl. She had tiny fingers. She had a small nose. She opened her eyes and looked at me. The world stopped spinning. The pain vanished. The memories of James, the lies, the heartbreak, it all disappeared. There was only her. "Hello, Sophia," I whispered. "I am your mother." She wrapped her tiny hand around my finger. She held on tight. I made a promise to her. In that moment, "I will never let anyone hurt you. I will be your mother and your father. We don't need him. We have everything we need right here." A few days later, I left the hospital. The sun was shining. The storm was over. I walked into the park with Sophia in her stroller, the same park where I used to cry. But today, I was not crying. I was smiling. I saw couples walking hand in hand. I saw fathers carrying their babies. Did I feel sad? A little bit. Did I wish things were different? Sometimes. But then I looked at Sophia sleeping peacefully. She was perfect. She was mine. I made a mistake. I fell in love with a married man. I trusted a liar. But my daughter is not a mistake. She is the best thing that ever happened to me. Sometimes life gives you a beautiful gift wrapped in ugly paper. I learned that I am stronger than I thought. I survived the betrayal. I survived the loneliness. And now I am building a new life. If you are listening to this story, and if you are feeling broken, please listen to me. Do not let one person destroy your value. People lie. People leave. But you still have yourself. You can grow flowers in the dirt. You can find sun after the rain. My name is Elena. I was pregnant by a married man. He left me. But look at me now. I am happy. I am free. And I am a mother. Thank you for listening to my story. Never give up on yourself. You are stronger than you know. Goodbye.